Vegas is transient. And we've been working on it. Like, honestly, it's been a work in progress. But it's extremely hard for a transient town to have that type of culture, because people come here expecting to hear stuff from their hometown. They don't come here expecting to hear Vegas anything.
You're now listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast. The show is designed to help you grow your mobile app audience and get advice from experts in your industry. Now, here's your host, Sean Garvey.
Yes, that is right, folks. It is the architect, Sean Garvey, coming to you once again, courtesy of BV Mobile Apps Podcast, brought to you by BV Mobile Apps, where we are the official mobile app provider for the Fleet DJs, Nerve DJs, and Core DJs. I want you to stick around towards the end of the program. We are going to give you more information on how you can get your app customized through BV Mobile Apps. So stay tuned for that. On the live line with me right here on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast is a DJ out of Las Vegas. That's right, folks, the 702 area. She is also affiliated with the Core DJs, one of the biggest DJ coalitions in the country. A DJ on the live line who is also a part of the Power 88.1 FM family out there in Las Vegas, KCEP. She is on the live line with us right here on the BB Mobile Apps Podcast, DJ Kelly J. Good day, DJ Kelly J. How are you doing?
Hello. I am great. How are you?
I am doing well, and I am so happy for you to take time out of your busy schedule. And it has been a very busy schedule for you to come on. But I want to start off by talking to you about how DJ Kelly J is where she is at right now. How did you get your start as a DJ?
Oh, man. So I actually was an intern at the radio station I'm at right now. I was an intern there when I was 18. So there was a summer program, and I signed up at the job fair thing that was at my high school. And I took the internship during the summer, and I've literally been DJing ever since. Like, I immediately fell in love with radio. It reminded me a lot of just the radio stations I listened to in Detroit. And I knew I wanted to use music to help people. So that internship kind of sold me. Like, I still went to college, but I wound up sticking to DJing full time, and I've been DJing ever since.
Okay, and what are some of the things that you did when you was an intern? We hear stories about interns that get their foot in the door and they had to go and get coffee for the on-air talent. They had to do this. They had to print out stories for the on-air talent. What did you actually have to do when you was an intern for the radio station?
So that's what was so cool about this internship. Like, we actually got to do every job at the radio station. Like, the 88.1 is owned by the Economic Opportunity Board of Clark County. So this internship was very hands-on. We got to do commercials. We got to set up the equipment at the live events. We got to work some of the reception, not a lot of the reception tasks, but some of the reception area tasks. We got to see how commercials are actually written out first. We got to see the behind the scenes production, how to cut commercials, and how to answer phone calls when people call and make song requests. Like, we got to do every task that is done inside a radio station, it made it so much fun. Like, a lot of days we didn't want to leave. We did not want to leave.
It was so much fun in the radio station. It was fun coming up to work. Okay. And are you originally from Las Vegas? And if not, how did you end up there?
So I'm actually from Detroit, Michigan, and I tell this story all the time. I still can't believe that it's true half the time. So my mom told me and my sister that we were going on vacation to Las Vegas, and we just never left. We never left. She's like, we're going to go visit your uncle, because my uncle lived out here already. We're going to go visit your uncle. We're going to check out Vegas. And I'm getting ready for school to roll around. I'm like, so when are we going back to Detroit? And she's like, we're not going back.
All right. So you consider yourself to be, would it be fair to say that you are bi-coastal? You are from Detroit. You are a native of Detroit, but now you are in Las Vegas, and you made a name for yourself in Las Vegas. So would it be fair to say that you are bi-coastal?
Exactly. I always claim Detroit and Las Vegas, always and forever.
Okay. So transitioning over to Las Vegas, like I said just a few moments ago, you made a name for yourself in Las Vegas. And as all of us know, Las Vegas is a major market for DJs, especially getting into the clubs and the casinos. And that's what Las Vegas is known for, as the first thing on the top of the list are the casinos. But what do you like the
Mhm.
most as a DJ? What do you like the most and the least about DJing in Las Vegas?
What I like the most, okay, what I like the most is that we're exposed to every area. We're a transit town, so we get people literally from everywhere. And because of that, the DJs normally have to cater to everybody. Like, we get to play stuff from California and Detroit and Chicago and Texas and Atlanta and Colorado. Like, we're exposed to a wider range of music than most DJs are in big towns. Most DJs in other towns will play music specific to their city. Vegas plays music specific to everybody. Like, they're actually, it's not specific at all. They play music for everybody. So
Yeah.
that's what I like the most. The least probably is the offside of that, which is because since we play everybody's music, it's extremely hard for us to play Las Vegas music. It's very hard for us to break Las Vegas artists. So yeah.
Yeah. So it's both a pro and a con to that. But you still had an outlet out there in Las Vegas. And one of the first artists that come to my mind out of Las Vegas is 702. One of my favorite groups that I grew up listening to as a kid. And I know that there has to be so much more out of Las Vegas on a music level, on a music scene, because a lot of great artists like a 702 and a few more that come out of Las Vegas, they just been itching and wanting to be on a platform and to get the exposure that they need to get to let them know, like, hey, Las Vegas, you all have your New York, you all have your Atlanta, you all have your LA and Chicago and all the other places in between, but we also rep Las Vegas. Like, it's still great talent coming out of Las Vegas. Don't you agree?
Oh, definitely. There is so much. That's actually something that helped me decide to become a DJ full time. There is so much talent in Las Vegas, so much talent. And I figured if I could at least get to a position where my opinion of what's next matters, then I can help get some of these artists out.
2020, a very big year for a lot of people, especially DJs. A very big year on a very bittersweet note because COVID hit and it changed a lot of what we do as industry people, whether you are a radio broadcaster like myself / podcaster or a DJ Kelly J. And in the Valley shut down in March. That's when the coronavirus, better known as COVID-19, went into full effect. And you had to figure out as a DJ how to maneuver around the pandemic. So let's start from the beginning. When the coronavirus touched down and shut down everything in Las Vegas, how did you put yourself in the position where you was like, oh, I got to figure how I'm going to survive as a DJ because my livelihood is built off of being a DJ. Talk to us about the first beginning stages of where you was at when the coronavirus hit and the process of you figuring out what to do next.
I had just got a residency for a comedy show at a new location, and we did one show, and immediately after the shutdown happened. So everything was closed. The radio station I was at was closed. All of my other events stopped. Honestly, that first month, I let myself take a break, and I had to do that because I've been DJing for 13 years. I had been going nonstop, lining up gigs and networking and meeting people. Like, my following is very organic, so like I've been putting in a lot of work over the years back to back So when this happened at first, and I'm a mother, so like when this happened at first, I took a break. And then after that, just the core family helped me out a lot. They gave us resources for virtual events, and we started doing virtual events. And then the community leaders reached out to me because I was already active in the community, and the community events came. And then it was just like one after another, things started to slowly come back. And my workload, it was still a lot slower than previous years, but I was still consistently working the whole time. So I guess like the advice I have to DJs is to expand your network as organically and as naturally as you can, because your network will keep you busy. Like after a while, I didn't really have to post, oh, book me, because my network was so big. I haven't posted that in years, and people just consistently call, gigs consistently come, opportunities consistently come, and it's just from putting in the footwork from the beginning.
So it's all about putting in the footwork, like you just said, and you also mentioned too that you got the support from the core DJ family. So you had to have that support system in place to keep you afloat during the coronavirus pandemic.
Well, no, the core network didn't keep me busy. They just provided resources for virtual events. So like in our core family, we went over different types of equipment, the pros and cons of the virtual equipment, so that when the gigs came, we had the right quality sound. They didn't necessarily get me gigs. They just helped my audio sound professional virtually. That was an avenue I had no information about, and the core family helped me get the right equipment for virtual events.
Gotcha. Okay, so they were mainly responsible for the resources and the technical side of what you needed to have during the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. Okay, and you mentioned you have a daughter, and that's another job outside of the job that you have. Was there so much pressure on you to do everything, or at least get as much as you can done during the COVID-19 pandemic while raising your daughter? What was that like for you?
Honestly, I used the time to wean her off of me. So I had been breastfeeding her for 2.5 years. So I actually stopped breastfeeding her July of last year. And I actually needed that consistent time at home to do that. Like that was a problem I was having just from running around so much. And then when the pandemic happened, like every day was just 10 times longer, because now I'm cleaning and wiping down everything and everybody as soon as we come home. So actually having that time at home to spend time with my daughter and wean her off of breastfeeding, like I honestly needed it. Like I can't complain about it at all.
We are learning a lot about you as a DJ, especially you having this passion and this love for DJing. I want to talk about your involvement in the core movement. Can you tell us about the ladies of the core movement and why it is so important?
Oh, definitely. So the Core DJs is one of the biggest DJ coalitions nationwide, and the ladies of the core is all the female core DJs. We just decided to congregate together and create a brand with just us. Like we wanted a little bit more support, and we found that support with each other. So we started doing like interviews from the ladies of the core. We started branding ourselves as ladies of the core. We do a lot of events together as ladies of the core. And it's just a branch off from the core DJ tree, I guess if you could say. Like it's just the females though. It's a lot of fun, and we communicate daily, which was something that was missing from our bigger group of everybody. So it tightened up. It actually tightened up the whole core when the girls unified. The whole core got tighter. So it was pretty cool.
DJ Kelly J, BV Mobile Apps Podcast with yours truly, Sean Garvey. If you have time, DJ Kelly J, I want to ask you a few questions about the Las Vegas outlet when it comes for DJs. Do you have time for that?
Sure.
Okay, so I want to ask you a few questions about breaking into the Las Vegas market as a DJ, because you have also made that your second home when it comes to doing what you're doing as a DJ. Like, what did it take for you to break into the Las Vegas market scene as a DJ?
It kind of goes back to the networking, because I networked times, so probably had a different introduction to the scene than out of town DJs have. Like I had 2 internet radio shows before. I worked for 3 of the major radio stations in Las Vegas, including 88.1. So my introduction was a little bit, it kind of flowed naturally over time. I started off interviewing a lot of independent artists. Those were my first 2 radio shows. They were all independent artists. And then as I switched over to mainstream radio, I started to do a lot of the mainstream music. And in the midst of just working at all these radio stations, I did a lot of the local events. So like your producer beat battles and your community events and private parties, birthday parties, and then slowly transitioned over to the club scene, just honestly off of word of mouth referrals. So that kind of goes back to what I was saying with networking. Like, your network will take care of you if you network properly.
We don't hear, to be very transparent, DJ Kelly J, we don't hear about too many DJs out of Las Vegas, right? We only hear about the ones that are coming out of New York or out of the West Coast or out of Atlanta. What would it take to really get to that level of breaking DJs or making Las Vegas as one of the top places in America for DJs to come out and to be showcased in a way where a lot of people can be like, okay, Las Vegas is the spot now? What I mean by that is being known. Like, for example, when you hear DJs, when you hear DJs on the radio or on social media, you hear about the Funk Master Flex and the DJ Kid Caprice and the DJ Premiers out of the East Coast, right? And then in Atlanta, you hear like a DJ Greg Street out of Atlanta, or even a DJ Drama from Atlanta, right? Or from the West Coast and other places as well. What would it take for the DJs in Las Vegas to be known to people? I mean, of course, DJs are making money. They're making great money out of Las Vegas, but what would it take to really get it to where this person knows this person out of Las Vegas, et cetera, et cetera?
That's a good question. When you put it that way. So that's going to come down to the culture, and it's hard to establish that type of culture in a transient city. So what, your Kid Caprice and your Funk Master Flex have are cities that are extremely cultured. They're able to break artists specific to New York. Your California DJs are able to break artists specific to California. Jermaine Dupri can break artists specific to Atlanta. And by the support of that culture or that city or that area, that DJ is popular to the point where if that DJ travels, they know they're going to hear music from that area, and that's an accredited DJ. Like, that DJ has like respect, basically.
Right.
But Vegas doesn't have that. Vegas is transient. We don't have, and we've been working on it. Like, honestly, it's been a work in progress, but it's extremely hard for a transient town to have that type of culture, because people come here expecting to hear stuff from their hometown. They don't come here expecting to hear Vegas anything. So and because of that, it's harder to get artists to break. You got to think, like, in a New York or Atlanta or LA, it's not completely easy for other artists to support an artist that's making his way or her way up, but they're kind of gonna support them to a certain extent because they're from their area. Vegas artists have a problem with doing that, and because of that, it's hard to get any one artist out. So it's a whole mess, honestly.
Yeah, yeah. It's up to us. It's up to us as consumers, because us as consumers that go out and purchase music or purchase the mixtapes and the albums and stream the music and whatnot. It's up to us as a culture to really show more support to the DJs out of Las Vegas and in other states across the country too, because I feel like we shouldn't put certain states in the country as selected states to be like, okay, this is New York, this is Atlanta, this is California, this is such and such. Like, I got to get a DJ from this particular state because this is what the state is known for. But I feel like it needs to branch out a lot more to places like Las Vegas and get those DJs recognized and known in the industry. I think that's very vital in today's culture, in today's society.
Definitely. And I guess like the best example I can make is like nobody's gonna walk up to Kid Capri and ask him to play something from Milwaukee. Like it might actually happen one day, but people will leave Kid Capri alone and let him do him.
Yeah.
And if he plays somebody from Milwaukee, great. But they're not gonna walk up to him and expect that from him. In Vegas, that happens to us often. People come here and they want to hear stuff from Detroit or Chicago or Atlanta or LA or wherever. They don't want to hear. They don't allow the DJ to DJ.
Yeah.
And because of that, the culture is very limited. So it's a work in progress. We've been working on it for a while.
Well, it takes time. There's always room for improvement. I do want to talk about this part of the DJing lifestyle, the DJing profession, and I want to dive a little bit more into being a female DJ in Las Vegas. How challenging is it to be a female DJ in Las Vegas?
It has its ups and downs. Like it's I've kind of just got to a point where it doesn't make a difference anymore, but it was definitely challenging in the beginning. I was like the only Black female DJ in the city for a long time, so it just created some obstacles I had to get over. Just people taking me seriously, people remaining or maintaining a level of professionalism when I get booked for events. Honestly, carrying equipment, like I had to get used to carrying like tons of equipment by myself, but it was something I got used to. It has its ups and downs, honestly.
It has its ups and downs, but do you think, though, as a female DJ, do you think that it is also a great time to really embrace the world that we are living in right now, where more and more women in a certain level of profession, whether it's a DJ or even a CEO or a president of a company, we start to see more and more diversity than ever before, and women actually being a part of the table. Like, they literally have a seat at the table now. Do you think it's a very beautiful thing to see those images now from the perspective of a female DJ, or do you still feel like we have a long, long, long way to go?
Things are in a interesting place right now, but it's a good place for women. Like, women, there are women entrepreneurs coming up like the woodwork, like everywhere. So it's a great time to be a female, period, in a male dominated industry. I think that there's still room for improvement, but this is a great time, I think.
Okay, you think it's a great time, but do you also think too that this will also inspire young girls to take this profession more seriously and tell themselves, well, hey, if DJ Kelly J can do it, so can I? Like, do you encourage young girls to take this profession seriously now that you are where you are, and had in the world that we're in right now, where women can do anything that a man can?
Oh, definitely. I've had 2 interns already. I'm also a part of a nonprofit organization called Girls Who Brunch Tour.
Yes.
We go on a nationwide tour every year for girls ages 7 through 17. Like, I heavily push that on them, that they can do this professionally. So, and I'm about to start teaching at UNLV DJ courses. So I've always pushed that on girls that were interested in it. Like, you can do this professionally. You can do exactly what I'm doing. You can do it better than I can, but you got to take it seriously. Like, that's been my major thing with everybody, and honestly anything. Like, if you're gonna do something and you want to do it professionally, you got to take it seriously. Yes, it's gonna be a lot of fun, but there's still a lot of work involved in this fun industry. There's a lot of work involved.
Definitely. I'm glad that you brought up the Girls Who Brunch tour. It is something that you take heed into, something that you've been a part of. Talk to us more about Girls Who Brunch tour. We also have young listeners, young girls that listen to this podcast, and they want to be a part of an organization that is bigger than who they are. So can you let's dive a little bit more into the Girls Who Brunch tour, if you don't mind.
So Girls Who Brunch Tour is a girls empowerment organization for girls ages 7 through 17. We normally would do somewhere between like 10 to 17 cities a year. We would bring our national board there. We would have a local board of young girls in the area, and we would have a brunch, and we would have workshops. And the workshops would be tailored to each age group. We would have a dance battle. We would have a stand in your walk segment just to teach girls about confidence. And I would DJ. We would have a little dance party at the end. And brunch, obviously, because it's a brunch. But we started. Well, the founder's name is Nicola Mitchell. She started it 2021, so she started in 2015, and I've been with her ever since she started. So she started in Las Vegas. The headquarters is actually in Atlanta now. But yeah, when the pandemic hit, we turned all of the stops into virtual stops, but we were rolling the whole time. And we're getting ready to get back to our in-person events at the end of this year. So our events right now are still virtual, but anybody listening can check us out at girlswhobrunchtour.com, and you can subscribe and get information on when we're coming to your town, or if we're doing a virtual event for your town. And stay tuned with us.
Yeah, and you play a very pivotal role in the organization as a board member of the charity organization Girls Who Brunch Tour. And what I like about this organization, because I did get a chance to go to the website to read some of the information that you have on the site, but it's a source or a place for at-risk girls that are going through so much in the world today, from sex trafficking to being in and out of foster homes. And you serve a purpose as a community activist, not just only a DJ, but you are a community activist in your own right. And what feeling do you get when you are known to not only be a DJ, but to be a board member, to be a part of this initiative to help and save young girls that are going through at-risk situations? What feeling do you get, and how does that, this is also a two-part question, how does that lead into your DJing profession as a DJ?
Honestly, it helps me feel complete. Like, I think a lot of people hear the word DJ and they don't realize that there are so many different avenues of being a DJ. But my avenue has always been helping people. So to be a part of an organization that helps girls, specifically girls that look like me, girls that may be overlooked, girls that may be lost, I feel complete. I feel complete.
Okay. And I'm assuming you also get that kind of motivation. Would it be fair to say you get that kind of motivation from your own daughter as well, too? Like, when you see her and she sees you, it's like a reflection, if you will, that your daughter can be anything she wants to be. If it's a DJ, is a community activist, she can be anything that she can, as long as it's empowering the next generation of young ladies and young girls and young women that are coming up?
Definitely. Like, I'm having my daughter reminds me of a lot of things, but just seeing her daily glow, like I said, I feel complete. I feel like if I can help more girls be like my daughter and have a lifestyle and a happiness like her, then I feel complete. Like that was always the goal, to help as many people as I can.
Absolutely. Okay, so DJ Kelly J, we shared a lot on this important episode of the BV Mobile Apps podcast, and coming out of this pandemic and other things in between, you got a lot going on. We follow each other on social media, and I see the pictures that you post. You are living your best life, and you having a great time as a DJ. What else can we expect from you in 2021 and beyond?
So this year I have a lot of new changes. So I actually just became an owner of my own lounge out here in Las Vegas. It's an esports gaming lounge. It's for kids during the day, and it's available for rent for adults at night. It's for kids to be able to play video games, and we have like chess classes where kids can learn how to play chess. I'm also, I haven't made this announcement yet, but I'm also going to be teaching DJ courses through UNLV, which is the university here in Las Vegas.
Nice.
Starting in July. And I just picked up another radio station in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is Hot 97.9. I'll be doing the midday mix shows there beginning June of this year.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean, it's this year. This was a monumental year as far as just reaching certain goals and getting to a different position in life, I guess, where I can serve people and actually teach. So I'm excited. I'm very excited.
Yeah. And congratulations. We just got an exclusive right here on the BV Mobile Apps podcast on what you were doing. We got an exclusive. I love it.
You're the first to know.
Wow. Well, we really feel special on behalf of BV Mobile Apps and the BV Mobile Apps podcast. We really feel special for you sharing that with us and to our listeners as well. Member of the Core DJ Nationwide Coalition, and also co-founded the Adult Swim Mixtape Tour, and so many organizations and places that you are a part of and that you're going to be in 2021 and beyond. Where can people, in the meantime, between time, DJ Kelly J, where can people follow you at on all social media?
My name is at DJ Kelly J on literally everything.
All right, nice. And when they follow you, they can be updated on where you're going to be at, what your next event is going to be at. And, by the way, for anybody that want to be, I want to also ask this as well, too. Going back to your organization, for anybody that want to volunteer or be a part of your organization, how can they get in contact with you, or where can they send an email to inquire about it?
Definitely contact us through the website on girlswhobrunchtour.com.
All right, that's all you have to do, ladies and gentlemen. Just go to the website and all the information is there. So we really appreciate it. DJ Kelly J, in which you can also check her out on Power 88 KCEP 88.1 FM. And also check out in Las Vegas if you make that trip to Las Vegas for your trip. All right, so DJ Kelly J, we really appreciate you.
Thank you for having me. I'm so glad we finally got to do this.
Absolutely. Me too. We really appreciate it. And for all those that are tuning in to the BV Mobile Apps podcast and want to learn more about how to get your app customized, all you have to do is just go to bvmobileapps.com. That's bvmobileapps.com for all of your app customization needs. Go to bvmobileapps.com and make sure to follow us on all social media at BV Mobile Apps. That's BV Mobile Apps. But if you also want to follow me everywhere on social media, Twitter, Instagram, at Sean Garvey ATL. All right. And on Facebook, I'm on Facebook, ladies and gentlemen, at Sean Garvey. Until the next time, tune in to the next BV Mobile Apps podcast, and we will talk to you soon. Take care.
It's a new year, it's a new day, it's a new chance for us to find our way. It's a new year, it's a new day, starting it over, starting the day.
Thank you for listening to the BV Mobile Apps Podcast with your host, Sean Garvey. For more information about BV Mobile Apps, visit the website, bvmobileapps.com. Don't forget to follow BV Mobile Apps on social media at BV Mobile Apps. Tune in again next time on the BV Mobile Apps Podcast.